DP leader Basha declares Albania is the main base to supply Europe with drugs, posing the question to the media, where would the 180 million euros from the drugs seized in Durrës yesterday have been cleaned? European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker reconfirmed support for the European perspective of the Western Balkans, urging countries to meet the conditions to join the EU. The Tirana Municipal Police are the latest to join the action for the greening up of the city by planting seedlings and direct decorative trees today to help Mayor Bulgaria reach his goal of planting 100,000 trees. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Thursday the 1st of March 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. Albania has become a key base for supplying Europe with drugs. This is what the Democratic Party chair Basha said after the meeting of the DP's parliamentary group today. According to him, these are not just words of the opposition, but have also been confirmed by the US State Department and other European law enforcement agencies such as Europol. Crime, politics and business have become one, said Basha, convinced that significant amounts of drugs, such as the 613 kilograms of cocaine seized in Durrës yesterday, could not pass through Albania without political support. Cannabis was just the beginning. Heroin and cocaine are two main criminal activities of organised Albanian crime. We have warned that crime, politics and business have become one. This is proven not only by the businessmen involved in the cocaine trade with Colombia, but also by the fact accepted by all that such a quantity of cocaine could not pass from Albania without political support at the highest level, said Basha. Besides becoming a crime free-for-all, Basha said that Albania has also turned into a washing machine for cleaning dirty money. Where will the crime money be cleaned? At the municipality of Tirana, of course, which is the main laundromat for drug money and other crime sectors where millions of euros need to be cleaned. This is what is actually destroying the economy, said Basha. The opposition leader said that the economy is collapsing because in this country, nothing is being produced except drugs, corruption and criminality. According to him, the only solution is the removal of the government. The press office of the President of the Republic has confirmed that 3 meetings have taken place between the head of state, Ilir Meta, and Foreign Minister Ditmir Bushati. In the first meeting, held on October 6th, the request to grant diplomatic status to the ambassador of Albania in Belgrade, Ilir Bocka, was discussed, as well as the requirement to accept in principle the proposal to appoint Igli Hasanaj as ambassador to NATO. During the second meeting, the clarification of the UN vote and general issues of diplomatic personnel abroad were the main issues discussed. The press office of the President specifies that at the end of this meeting, Bushati told Mr. Meta that the next day he would go to Korça to meet Mr. Kocias to resolve all inherent issues between the two countries. On February 9th, the third meeting was held, again at the request of Minister Bushati. The main issue raised by Bushati was the emergence and the appointment of 2 new ambassadors to UNESCO and Geneva. At the end of this meeting, Bushati informed Meta that talks with Kocias had gone very well in general and that he needed an authorization to close the maritime issue. The President once again made clear the great importance he gives to relations with Greece. He clarified that communication on this important issue will always be formal and written, and that the request for authorization must follow the procedures clearly defined by the Constitutional Court's decision on the matter. This meeting, according to the President's press office, did not last longer than 10 minutes. Foreign Minister of Greece, Nikos Kotzias, during a hearing session in Parliament, has spoken of the negotiations for the maritime agreement with Albania. Minister Kotzias stated he considers the 2009 agreement to be a ghost agreement. A real agreement is 100 times better than a ghost agreement, like that of 2009. We now have 3 alternatives: to not make a deal, to not accept the decision of the Constitutional Court, or to try and correct technical issues, said Nikos Kotzias. The head of the Greek diplomacy said that the Greek negotiating group consists of 10 people. Our negotiating team consists of 10 people, 8 are from the Foreign Ministry officials, 1 expert in international law and 1 mapping specialist, said Kotzias. Speaking about the situation in Albania for what is happening for those negotiations, Kotzias said that the Albanian side is still in discussions. In these moments, the Albanian Ministry of Foreign Affairs is discussing with the President, Ilir Meta, about the full authorization. This will be based on the Constitutional Court's decision, which is not the right decision for us, added Kotzias. The European Union delegation stopped by in the capital of Bulgaria today, which will also welcome 6 leaders of the Western Balkan countries at a meeting to prepare for the summit that regional leaders will develop with EU leaders. European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker was welcomed by Bulgarian Prime Minister Boyko Borisov, with whom he also held a press conference. In his speech, Juncker reiterated the previously expressed messages about the integration of the Western Balkans. The EU is very open to the European perspective of the region. We know that the progress is different from one country to another, but I have seen the same readiness to undertake the necessary reforms which will need to be implemented by the time the countries join the EU. If all conditions are met, membership will take place in 2025. I must re-emphasise that we must see a credible fight against crime and corruption that divides societies. Anyone who wants to join the EU must also end bilateral territorial disputes, reiterated Jean-Claude Juncker. All household customers who have not yet formalised their arrangement with the water supplier in the cities they live in and who continue to have illegal connections will be accompanied to the police stations starting from today. Municipalities have been instructed by the government for field verifications and controls on informal consumers, with inspectors also to be accompanied by the police. Families in a low socio-economic situation will be excluded from all costs to set up contracts and meters for the first time. The Deputy Director of the Water Supply and Sewerage in Tirana, Evis Jebrea, confirmed that the instructions clearly define that this category will be subsidised by the state. Families in need will benefit from a free setup of connections and contracts, said Evis Jebrea. For the action of drinking water at a national level, the Ministry of Infrastructure reports that over 16,000 new contracts and 15,900 ACT deals have been concluded, while 40 new water meters have been installed. For violations, 142 business owners have been referred to the police, while payments from debtors have totalled 227 million lek so far. The action for planting 100,000 new trees in the capital was also joined by the employees of the municipal police, who donated decorative wood of the type loifat, which the mayor referred to as the trees of love. Present at the planting of 80 seedlings at the Cemal Stafa Park, Tirana's Mayor Erion Veliaj praised the municipal police officers who, in addition to their daily service to the community, show that first and foremost they can also be good citizens. I want to remind you that just 2.5 years ago, this was an inaccessible space, surrounded by fence and barriers. Today, it is open and has given Tirana another jewel in the middle of the boulevard. So let's remember how much we've done, but we have to admit that we still have a long way to go until we have the Tirana of our dreams, said Erion Veliaj. The mayor said that Tirana is close to achieving the target of planting 100,000 new trees. I am very happy to start the month in a good way, planting 80 seedlings of love trees, a tree that will grow endless flowers in this period. So I'm glad we approach a spring with 100,000 trees, and as we approach March 21, we will make sure to capture this record across the city of Tirana, said Erion Veliaj. Thanking the municipal police employees for their valuable contribution to the benefit of the city, Veliaj called for the involvement of citizens and institutions in this action. There is always time for good things. If one of Tirana's busiest officers can find time to plant trees, then everyone can. This is not work to keep you busy, but for your desire and pleasure. So I want to thank my colleagues who have not only a disciplined city that had gone out of control, but they also help us in this fantastic initiative, said Erion Veliaj. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.